Well, it's been 90 days, and let's look at Trump's vision. Foreign policy comes number one on my list. Poor Ukraine. Zelensky doesn't realize that Trump has just dusted off the 216 papers that Manafort and he knew were Putin's vision for Ukraine. It's all there, right in my book, shining a light on the Mueller report, the Mariupol plan. And what was it? Crimea, of course, goes to Putin. The winner. Of course, you're not allowed to reset boundaries in Europe after World War II, but hey, what's a little boundary between friends when this is what Russia wanted all along? And not only did Russia want it, but Trump. He says point blank in the Mueller report he was going to get a dacha in Crimea. That might have been just as good as the Gazan Riviera, as far as he was concerned, because it was a gift to him from Putin. Well, that also is part of the Mariupol plan, as Manafort presented it to him. It's directly from Putin's lips. They'd freeze all the borders. They'd freeze them at the ceasefire and fighting levels right now. Security for Ukraine? Well, that's kind of an afterthought. The Ukrainians' nuclear power plant? Well, maybe America would minister to it and give Zelensky energy when Trump thought it was necessary. And judging how he feels about people in general, he doesn't really feel that most people need a lot of energy. Only he has to have heat and hot water and cooling. So who knows whether that nuclear power plant would be secure. But it's all there, right in the Mueller report. That's why Trump was so eager to sanction the 3 attorneys' corporations that had anything to do with Robert Mueller, Andrew Weissman, and others. Poor Perkins Co. They'll never live it down, but they don't care. They're fighting Trump, just like everyone else is. So that ceasefire, that never happened. The peace plan that Putin wants and not going to get. Unfortunately, Zelensky will be fighting on, and Trump is like, okay, you didn't want my plan? I'm now walking away from it. God knows what he's going to do to Israel because he's talking to the Iranians, and I'm sure he's talking oil because Trump's vision, it's back, way back when we needed oil and we didn't need green energy. By the way, oil is one of the commodities that prices have gone down on, 9.8%. And with everyone trying to get rid of their oil and not go to green energy, which produces more jobs, oil pricing is going to go much further down. But not to worry. Trump's vision is you give Elon Musk the Department of Interior, and he can then sell off all of our beautiful land and property to the oil companies, and they can drill, baby, drill, even though it's killing us. And it is. It is killing us, along with the microplastics. We don't know what the mechanism is for microplastics yet, but we will. So, Trump's vision? Tariffs, which nobody wants because we've already got trade agreements and we already get 25% of the entire global trading pie. What else could anyone ask for? Except for now, we're going to give Target and Walmart supply chain problems. I don't think they asked for that. So, when you think of Trump's vision going back to a second Gilded Age, you gotta say, hey, let's get another vision. It's only 3 months and already he's making us feel like this from The Economist and like this also from The Economist. Hope you can see it. Because if you're familiar with Edward Munch's The Scream, that's how a lot of people feel, except for the fact that we gotta buckle down and have another vision. There are only 40,000 miners left in coal. And you know, folks, everyone who mined for coal suffered. You don't remember black lung? You don't remember roof collapsing in the mines and people dying? Well, remember it. Because green energy is clean energy. We don't have to breathe in carbon and methane and sulfur. We can live and we can have more jobs than the old fossil fuel companies ever gave us. All over the world, people are capping their emissions. We can cap our emissions here. We can do carbon capture. And people will be able to breathe easily. And maybe we won't die of cancer so readily or heart disease. It can happen. We can do it. It's within our grasp. Every other country on the planet is mindful of climate change. They're scrambling to use heat pumps, to go back to nuclear energy, installing third and fourth generation nuclear power plants, modular nuclear power plants, and more solar and more wind. There's so much we can do. We can have a closed system for energy in our farming. We don't have to waste water. We can do what they do in India, have ponds. So when the monsoons come or the hard rains come and the atmospheric rivers come, we can trap some of that water and not flood our cities and use it eventually for agriculture. There are methods that we can employ with science and engineering and math and technology. The manufacturing that Trump envisions, it's not for us. We don't want to go back to the old ways of life. We want to be sophisticated. Dirty industries, hey, we can use robots for that. And we can use people for more construction. We need 3 million homes minimum. And most folks, they can't afford homes. So we need to raise wages and we need to increase our housing capacity. That's a vision, not what Trump sees, the second Gilded Age and more strife in our world. No way. I don't want to feel like this anymore.